Welcome to the Three Dad Bods podcast. We're back and we're ready to entertain and put a smile on your face. Brent, Karl, and Sean are full of useless information. Just ask their kids. But we can't wait to share stories about the past and make your day a bit brighter. Now buckle in and put those earphones on and enjoy the ride. Three Dad Bods is back and about to begin.
Hey everybody, welcome to Three Dad Bods. Brent and Karl. How you doing, Karl?
I'm doing great, man. How's your night going?
It's going good, going good. You know, it's Wednesday night. Kind of an exciting night as we're kind of on the cusp of the tournament beginning tomorrow. I know we've had the play-in games. 2 games played yesterday. We got 2 games going on tonight. And listen, everybody, I know there's 42 different professionals on ESPN who's told you how to pick. You've got all those experts from CBS.com, but we know you've been waiting for the Brent and Karl picks to come about. I know you guys have been anxiously waiting to see what we've got and the advice that we have to you guys to give you guys that winning bracket in your office pool, online, win that $1 million. So get your money out, get them ready to bet, put your money on these picks right now, because I'm telling you right now, we are going to be flops just like everybody else.
And if you don't know how to make picks or you're feeling a little intimidated, maybe we'll have a few words of advice or just some of the random stuff we do that usually, like Brent said, we're not even close. But it's still a fun. It's fun to get your picks ready, and it's more fun watching the games tomorrow and Friday. So I'm excited. It's always my favorite 2 days of the year when it comes to sports. Yeah,
the first 2 rounds. What makes it so amazing is you see these teams that are 12 seeds, 13 seeds, and you know these teams make it to the Elite Eight. But when you look at the records of these teams, I mean, you're talking about teams that only have 3 or 4 losses, and they play in these smaller conferences, and they get overshadowed by the love that ESPN has, for the big power conferences and stuff like that. But it's fun to see these teams come out and play, because the one amazing thing about college basketball, and particularly men's college basketball, is there are so many great athletes that
you're right.
The talent can be dispersed through so many schools. And
College
it just creates for so much fun.
College basketball is so different than college football. And you're exactly right, because there's 300 Division I teams, I think. And the reason is there's so many young athletes that could play at the Division I level, and it kind of equalizes everything, creates parity among all those teams. And, especially too, we were talking about it in our last podcast with the transfer portal and the NBA and all the different opportunities that these kids have. And some of them just exit college a lot earlier maybe than they need to. But, this is you're right, Brent. This is the great equalizer. Like, I was looking, and we'll get into it in a second, but one team that kind of jumped out at me, they're playing San Diego State, I think, in the first round. Charleston. They were 31 and 3.
And 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And Charleston in the past has had upsets in the past. Like this,
absolutely.
This is a team that is just one of them smaller. I agree 100%. This is one of those. It's been a hard pick,
or you take some of those Ivy League egghead schools like Harvard or Princeton, and they just play a different style of basketball that really just, I think, confuses some of the bigger conference teams.
Overall number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. I mean, who would have thought? If I said number 1 team and I said Alabama, you'd obviously be thinking I'm talking about football. But no, Alabama Crimson Tide basketball. First time ever number one seed. First time ever the overall number one seed. And they are the odds on favorite. They're a plus 700 to win the whole thing. Now, I look at this overall number one team, and maybe it's just because of their history, but I I don't have them going all the way. Do you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised because the betting, Vegas says they have a pretty good chance of going all the way. But to be honest, this is the problem with filling a bracket. I know very few nerds, college basketball nerds, that spend. I don't. I mean, I even when I was younger, I did not follow it at the level that you're going to hit a perfect bracket. And it's kind of funny. I remember Warren Buffett a few years ago offered someone who got a perfect bracket. That means you win every single game in the first round, second, Sweet 16, Final Eight, semis, and the championship game. You call them all correctly,
Yeah, I
and
don't
you
think anybody's ever
win.
done that, have they? I don't think
Yeah,
it's
he
ever
was
been done.
offered $10 million
Yeah,
or some crazy number like that, and I was just
yeah,
like, yeah. I mean, the odds of getting it all right,
I,
absolutely almost zero.
yeah. I don't think that it has ever happened in, I mean, at least on the online brackets where everybody can keep track and stuff like that.
Could you imagine the 64 team parlay in the first round if you could get them all, or 32 games if you got them all right in Vegas? You'd be a millionaire on a $5 bet. Anyway, so Brent, this brings a great question. Okay, it's Wednesday night. Um, I'm still kind of not under, not I still haven't made up my mind who's going to win this. I haven't
All
filled
right.
my bracket out, and I really haven't done this before. How do you fill your bracket out? What's your go to?
So to be honest with you, it is a crapshoot. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. You could throw all the statistics that you want together. It's not like a fantasy football draft where you can look at stats of players and all that because you have to throw all that out. Because again, like you were talking about this Charleston team, right? They're a 12 seed. They're going against the San Diego State Aztecs, who are a 5 seed. Right now, they're showing as they are the third highest chance of an upset at 41%.
But
I
but here
I
but stop for a second. What does a 5 seed really mean? Because you've got 10 egghead older dudes and women sitting in a committee that maybe watch a few conference championship games who are deciding who is the 20th best team in the nation, which would be San Diego State right now, according to the tournament. So is San Diego State really a 5 seed? That's the other
and
thing
that's the
sometimes.
question. Because
Yeah.
look, all right, so San Diego State they are 27-6, right?
Hmm.
And Charleston, as you mentioned before, they are 31-3. So if imagine this, what if I told you, hey, San Diego State is the 12th seed and Charleston is the 5 seed? Would that really shock you based off of those records? I mean, you could easily flip-flop those teams, I feel like.
No, it wouldn't shock me, except for the fact that you do have favoritism that goes towards the power conferences, and rightfully so. I mean,
But neither one of those teams are really in a power conference. I don't consider the Mountain
no.
West a power conference.
Well, San Diego State's done kind of what Gonzaga's done, and San Diego State benefited from the coach the Fab Five from Michigan, same coach that coached at San Diego State. I can't remember his name now for at least 10 years, and he kind of built a program. And they went to the NCAA tournament like 8 or 9 times in a row,
Fisher,
and they've
isn't it?
won Fisher, and
Yeah,
they
it
won a
had the
few
Fab Five
games.
from Michigan.
I think they made the Sweet 16 once
Hmm.
recently,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah. But
it's
other than
where
that,
what's his name from the Clippers played for.
yeah. Oh,
I
I
can't
know what
remember
you're
his
talking
name.
about.
He played for
Um,
San Antonio
Kalani Leonard.
Spurs, and yes, Kawhi. Yeah, he's for San
Yeah,
Diego State.
I remember watching he and Jimmer Fredette going at each other. That was a good game
Dude
when
was
they were both
baller.
in the top 10. That was only once. Anyway, uh, yeah, San Diego State, though, is in a non Power 5 conference, or, well, I guess in basketball, it's just a non power conference. It's a little different, isn't it? Because of the Big East. But,
Okay, so
and go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, I was going to run down these games. Okay, these are
Okay.
11, 12, 13, and 14 seed games, and this is based off of the the percentage of an upset chance. And you tell me
Hmm.
if you agree or disagree. All right. So
Okay. All right.
so 12 seed VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, and St. Mary's Gales, who's a 5 seed. Upset chance is 43%.
Mm, I, you know, yeah, I would go for that. St. Mary's is from a small conference, but they do have to play the Zags, and they did very well against the Zags. I don't know a lot about VCU,
I don't either.
so
I
yeah,
know nothing about VCU except they are 27-7
it's
in the
still a
in
good
Atlantic
record.
10.
Well, then
All right.
what I do next is I look at common opponents. Have they played anybody the same teams, and what's the record against those common opponents? And then if there isn't anything really, there's no way to tell there. Then I go to the last 10 games. What's St. Mary's record? What's VCU's record? And how they did in the conference tournament. So sometimes a team that goes like 3 wins in a row in a conference tournament is exhausted by the time it gets to this week. Like there's a team that got in the tournament to play in the play-in game against, I think it was Fairleigh Dickerson. They
Yeah.
get to play Purdue next. Well, Texas Southern was the team that won their conference, and I was looking at they had a horrible record, like 11 wins and 20 losses, and they won their conference tournament, and they won 3 in a row. And I was like, good grief, how do you let a team like that in? And of course, they lose in the first round, or the playing game. I guess it's not even considered the first round. And now that poor team has to play Purdue. So, I think in a way, even though some people will argue and complain that the committee never gets it right, I think in a way they do get it right
I do too.
because there's enough teams and enough games that the cream will rise to the top. And every once in a while, you do get that surprise team that shocks everybody, shocks the world.
Actually, it's not
And,
every once in a while. It happens quite often.
right.
But
Well, hey,
those teams so and you kind of touched on this a bit when we were talking last time. First round, second round, those teams like stand out, right? But then when you
right.
get through like the Sweet 16 and then into the Elite 8, that's when these big powerhouse teams really start to take form. You know, it, it's when these powerhouses, your Kansases step up. You know, it's it kind of now shaves away from these good teams. You know, and if you're in the tournament, you are a good team. You've won your conference tournament, or you've been, randomly selected. You didn't finish your conference tournament or whatnot. But when you hit that elite eight, that's exactly what they are. Is those are elite teams that are in there, and every once in a while, you had James Madison a couple years ago that popped inside there, but that's kind of where that road ends. You know,
Well, it usually ends Sweet 16 or Final 8, but occasionally they'll get to the Final 4. Man, that makes it exciting. You'll hear the Charles Barkleys. Well, Charles actually is pretty good about the Cinderella
yeah.
team. It's some of the other mouths that I call them are disappointed that it's not a Power Five, a big school from a big conference. But most of the media loves a Cinderella story, and so yeah, I
I
want to
think the
see.
fans do
Okay,
too.
hey, let's go for it, man.
Yeah.
Let's. I want to know what your
Okay.
Cinderella is
So
as well.
so let me ask you, like, when you fill out a
Yeah.
bracket, do you only fill out one bracket, or do you fill out a couple brackets?
Oh, I fill out a couple.
I
So I
do
got
too. Like I have my one main one, right? Like this is my
Right.
this is my serious pick one, right? And the one that is,
Right.
ultimately one. And then I go back and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do one with just, like who I want to, right? And then maybe I'll fill out one that is like the wow, if Thursday night and Friday night are absolutely crazy and Saturday and Sunday are absolutely crazy, that's what this bracket is. Like this is upset city bracket, right? So I'll I'll keep with my main bracket. I'll just leave it with that bracket right there, okay? You want to go
Okay.
like who I have in the final four?
Yeah, let's take one bracket at a time. You go on the first one first, like this. Well, let's do the South. You
Okay.
go first, and then I'll tell you what my picks are, or we can go game by game. Let's just do game by game because I've got my bracket open. Do you have
Okay.
yours open?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so round one, obviously with Alabama, whoever the play-in is or whatnot. I think it's Texas
Oh.
A&M Community College.
Yeah, it's
Like,
Alabama.
yeah, I mean,
Roll
I
Tide.
think that's a no-brainer. Now the next game, a Maryland West Virginia, and again,
Yeah. Who do you have?
I have no rhyme or reason in this, but I've got Maryland on that one, just for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It,
Okay.
um,
Well, because they play in the Big 12, and I do feel like the competition's pretty fierce. West Virginia did fairly well in their tournament, and they finished respectably in their conference. I don't know enough about Maryland this year. I mean, they are in the ACC. Well, no, they're in the Big Ten now, aren't they? They're in a good conference too. But and then eventually it comes down to the mascot, man. The Mountaineers going to kick the Terrapins' butt.
wow, you don't
So
like that little
West
turtle, man?
Virginia over Maryland, man. Here we go.
and,
All right.
and honestly, I couldn't disagree with that one at all. Um,
Okay.
San Diego State, Charleston. I know we talked about it, but on my pick, I got San Diego
Hmm.
State on that. And
I'm
I
getting,
I was really torn. I'll be honest. That is a very difficult. These 12-5 matchups are always so hard to pick.
yeah, and I mean, Charleston's hot, and obviously they could play a weak schedule. I mean, I'll admit that. I mean, San Diego State's, I personally don't feel is that much better being in the Mountain West. I'm starting to sound like a snob now, but
And
I'm
they
going with
didn't
Charleston.
fly past Utah State. Like Utah State
No,
hung with them pretty good.
yeah, I'm going with Charleston. I'm going with an upset.
Virginia and Furman. I went with Furman on this
Oh,
one.
oh man. Okay, and that's a good pick actually,
Let me
and
tell
here's
you
why.
why. Let me tell
Virginia
you why.
choked.
Yes,
Virginia's choked.
yes.
Yeah.
So Virginia does one or two things. They come into the tournament, they squeak through that first game, and then they'll fly. This first round always hurts. Remember, they are the only number one seed who lost to a 16 seed team. The only one.
Okay.
And then the very next year,
Well,
what happened to them? They won the national championship.
here's my feeling. I think everybody at Virginia knows what their reputation is. It's either going to catch up with them again, or they're just too talented to let it catch up with them. And I figure it's the latter this time. I'm going with Virginia. I think they're going to beat Furman.
Furman
So
themselves,
there's a bunch of
27 and
military
7.
brats.
27
Yep.
and 7. No slouches.
No. Okay, Crichton, North Carolina State. That'll be an interesting one.
Creighton, I got
Yeah,
NC
Creighton.
State. Yeah,
You know,
ACC, I think with the power, with the schedule and stuff like that, I'm going with
yeah,
NC State.
it's hard to go against them, but Creighton plays in the Big East. That's a tough conference. And they went. I think they almost beat Seton Hall. And I was watching one of these games. UConn. They stayed with them the entire time. And UConn's one of my favorites this tournament.
UConn is a lot
I'm
of
gonna go
people's
Creighton.
favorites.
I'm going Creighton. Blue Jays.
We're like
So
complete opposites on everything right now.
yeah, we are. All right. I don't think so on the next one though. I
I
think we'll
think
both
so.
agree on this one. Yeah, I'll Bears all the way on this
Do
one.
you?
Baylor.
I got Cal
Yeah.
State Santa Barbara, man.
Oh my
I
goodness.
do.
Seriously?
I do.
Oh,
Look, Baylor is
okay.
22-10. Cal State Santa Barbara is 27-7. And I
Yeah.
I feel like this is the overinflated pick right here at a 3 seed. I really do. Baylor has not
Huh.
shown me anything this year.
If they weren't playing a Big West team, I would agree with you a little more. I mean, if this was Baylor against, like, let's say Missouri, or maybe one of the, well, maybe, I don't know. I thinking maybe Furman. I'd say if Maryland was playing Baylor, I'd definitely be more prone to pick Maryland, even though I think it'd still be a close game. I'm going with Baylor,
Going
and
opposites
you're
again,
going
man.
with
Going
UCSB.
opposites again.
Oh, yeah, we're looking at a lot of upsets. This could be the bracket. This could be the Cinderella bracket right here.
Yeah.
I got a feeling. All right, Missouri, Utah State.
I'm going with Utah State. I know
Wow.
Missouri beat Tennessee at home. Tennessee,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, would not bet on them for much of anything at all because they are set up to fail. But I was really
Yeah.
impressed with how well Utah State played against um, San Diego State.
Okay.
And you're talking about a 24 and
But
9 team and a 26 and 8 team. I mean, fairly
but
matched up evenly.
here's the problem with Utah State. They have been in the first round now. I don't know how many times in a row, and they've lost every time now. So they've got a lot hanging. They've got a monkey on their back, and they've got to shake it. So I'm going to go Utah State too. I'll agree with you.
All
I'm
right,
thinking Utah State with the upset.
so comparisons: Utah State allows 69 points a game. Missouri allows 74. BPI
Yeah,
rank:
that's good.
Missouri is 59th, and Utah State is 42nd.
Yeah, that's why I like Utah State's coach. I think they have some good play. I mean, I watched a couple of their games this year, and they, like you said, they gave San Diego State all they could handle. I think a lot of people in the country are overlooking Utah State because of their record in the NCAA tournament. I think Utah State, it's their day. I just don't think they're going to get past round two,
I don't either.
but I could see them
I don't
beat Missouri. Okay, this is the obvious one coming up. Maybe, maybe.
I think we agree on that. I've
Yeah,
actually got
Arizona.
Arizona going pretty deep.
I do
Arizona
too.
and Princeton.
Okay, all right, all right. Let's go to. Should we go? Should we finish the bracket or go to the next bracket?
Now let's go to the
Wes?
next bracket. And actually, what we should
Okay.
do,
Yeah.
maybe we should just, so we don't go game by game. Let's go through who you have
Yeah.
as upsets, and then we should probably start hitting like Final Four, Sweet
Okay.
16 and then Final Four.
I
So
think that's a
in
great idea.
and I apologize, I don't know what bracket this is, but let's go to the one with Purdue as the number 1 seed.
Okay, that would be Fairleigh Dickinson that just won last night. Okay, so that is the East.
Yeah,
So let's see, upsets first.
yeah. So
right?
who do you
Or
got as far
upsets?
as upsets there?
Oh, okay. And this is first round or through all of them?
Through the first round.
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't. I think Louisiana Lafayette is going to knock off Tennessee,
I agree. I have that pick also.
and
Again, because Tennessee lives and dies by the 3-point line, and ever since they were ranked number 2 in the country, they have lost to Vanderbilt. They have lost to Missouri twice. I mean, it's been downhill. And
Mhm.
Louisiana Lafayette is 26-7. Tennessee's 23 and 10. I agree with that.
See, this one I was going to pick Duke to lose to Oral
I
Roberts.
did.
However,
I did.
I didn't. I didn't, even though I wanted to. I hate Duke,
I know.
and they always disappoint me. Always
Oral
disappoint
Roberts
me.
won the
And
first round last year. They're 30-4 this
I
year.
know.
They
Well, here's my upsets.
averaged
Oh, this is
84 points a game. I mean,
your upset of the tournament. Vermont's going to beat Marquette for a 15 over a 2. You watch. Vermont is a
Ooh.
pesky
I don't
northeastern
know. They were
team that
23 and
always,
10, and their BPI
yeah,
rank
but
is 96. I don't know, man.
yeah.
I,
Well, that's okay. I have Michigan State beating them in the second round, so it doesn't matter. But
okay.
okay, all
Any
right.
more in that bracket? Because I've
No,
got. I agree with you on Louisiana. I actually
hmm
have Oral Roberts beating Duke. I've got Florida A&U beating FAU beating Memphis, which I don't really consider that an upset in 8 and 9 there. Um, but yeah, I think through the rest of that, it looks pretty good.
okay, all right.
Next bracket was Houston.
I Yeah, Houston. Okay, Houston. I didn't realize. I was looking at their schedule last night. I mean, they're good. That team is a good team. Now, a lot of their wins, of course, are in the AAC, but you still have a few good teams in that conference that are traditionally good teams. So they had a really good preseason, and they just haven't lost any to anybody really. I mean, I lost a couple, but I'm gonna definitely take them in the first round.
Who's that?
Um, well, Houston's gonna win that game.
Yeah,
Okay, upsets. I'm going to take Drake over Miami.
yeah. I actually picked Miami, but I that was one I really struggled with. Identical
You're going to
records,
laugh.
but yeah.
I'm going to take a Big Ten team, big upset over A&M. Even though it's only a 7-10, I still think
Penn
I
State
think
is very
A&M's going to
good. They were
be
in the championship game for the Big Ten.
yeah, and I think that should be a wake up call to A&M. But I think they're going to be looking at Texas. I think they want to show their rival, which I laugh when they say they're not rivals. They're rivals. That they're going to be looking. Oh, we're going to be playing the Longhorns, and Texas is going to roll over Colgate, in my opinion. But
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Penn State, Texas in the second round. And other than that,
I've got Kennesaw State. You know what?
yeah.
I have Kennesaw State making it to the Sweet 16.
You what?
Yes, I
Kennesaw
do.
State
It's crazy. I know it's a crazy deal.
over the
And
Xavier?
I mean,
Really?
104th BPI ranking.
Oh,
It's a long shot, but it's one of those that are like, you know what? If they could get through Xavier, I've got Pittsburgh beating Iowa State. Um,
huh? Really?
Iowa State's
Okay.
19 and 13. I they don't seem like they were that great to me at all. They only put up 68 points a game. I I
Hmm.
think they're going to struggle. And so like I had then Kennesaw State meeting Pitt in the next round, and I think Kennesaw State be flying high and end up, beating them and moving on to against Texas. Actually,
Well,
I got them going in the final eight. So maybe you don't want to listen to my bracket.
that's kind of crazy. I'll be honest. I mean, I've seen wild stuff as well in this tournament, and that's really crazy. But that's okay. I mean, that's the fun of this whole thing. You never know. All right, West. Let's go West, young man.
All right.
This should be an interesting bracket. I'll go on this one first. Um, okay, my upsets in this would be, gosh, I really don't see too many. Boise State possibly over Northwestern, but I didn't pick that. I think you picked VCU, right?
I did.
So,
I did.
yeah.
I got BCU
Uh,
going pretty far, in fact.
I keep going to this Grand Canyon Gonzaga game, and here's why. And I'm not going to pick Grand Canyon, but I sure want to. And here's why. I watched the UVU SUU game, and UVU's actually played pretty good, Utah Valley University. And man, that game, UVU was up 20 points, and Southern Utah closed and won. And so UVU blew a 20-point lead in the semifinal game.
Hmm.
And then I think SUU was just out of gas in that game against Grand Canyon in the championship in the WAC. but Grand Canyon ran him out of the gym, and so Grand Canyon might be better than I think. So that's why I still think Gonzaga's going to rock that game. So I'm going to go Boise State as the only upset in that bracket. I think TCU is going to take care of ASU Nevada. I know UConn is going to, and I think St. Mary's is going to win their first round. I think Illinois will beat Arkansas, so I guess you could call that an upset, but not much of one. That's it on the West.
I got a couple. VCU over St. Mary's, we talked about.
Okay.
Iona over UConn. Do you know why?
Yeah, why? That's
who coaches Iona?
I don't know. Help me out on that one.
Rick Pitino.
Pitino's coaching Iona.
Rick Pitino coaches Iona. Yeah.
Well, if anybody's been there, he has.
Yes. I put the experience of him. I've watched one of their games midway through the season. They're a very disciplined basketball team. It's Rick Pitino ball. And one thing about Rick is he knows how to recruit. They were a 27-7 basketball team this year. I know a lot of people have UConn going kind of deep, but a 13 versus 4 right there, I think that one's setting up pretty good for an upset. I think it's probably Rick's last run with Iona, and you're probably going to see him at Notre Dame next year, is my guess, or possibly St. John's. But I those two right there, and then I know you had Boise State over Northwestern. I got Northwestern in there. I don't really know if that's an upset, to be honest with you, a 10 versus 7.
Well, I'm kind of looking at Boise
both
State
ways on that, So,
well, I think one of our friends in our audience will like that pick with the Boise pick. So, plus I have family up in Boise, so I'm going to go with the local pick there. I like the Utah State.
They beat Texas A&M by 15.
Yeah, see, you got to give the boys in blue and orange a little respect here, Brent. So, I you never know. I mean, they might have turned from a football school into. No, I'm just kidding. They're still a football school.
And Northwestern lost to my Maryland Terrapins by 16 points.
Well, your Maryland the Terrapins aren't making it out of the first round, so don't worry. Okay, let's finish up that. Okay, let's finish up the South region. So I have Alabama and Arizona in the championship game.
Oh,
the championship game of the South is what I was talking about. So I have I'll tell you my upsets that made it deep. Okay, I had Charleston going to the final, the Sweet 16. And so that's a big one if that happens. I have Creighton in the Sweet 16 against Arizona. And I have Alabama beating Charleston. And then I have Arizona beating Alabama to get into the Final Four. And I guess we'll have to talk about that in a second. But who do you have in that?
All right, so Bama through Furman, Arizona through North Carolina State, Purdue through Oral Roberts. So I got Oral Roberts making it into the Sweet 16, where they'll lose to Purdue. I've got Providence.
I have Louisiana Lafayette in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. So I got them playing each other, and I picked Oral Roberts on that one, and really at 12 versus 11, you could flip either way. I kind of went with Oral Roberts because they're 30-4, and last year they did pretty good in the tournament too. Last year.
So who do you have in the regional final? I have an all Big Ten Purdue against Michigan State.
So I have in the Elite Eight, I have Alabama and Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I have Purdue and Providence.
Okay. I have Purdue and Michigan State.
Auburn and Kennesaw State.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah, I know.
I love it. Which one's that? That's
the final there for what is that?
Midwest.
Yeah. And then I've got
I have Houston, Texas. Okay. And then
I've got Virginia Commonwealth and Gonzaga.
I have UConn, Gonzaga.
And then, so that brings us
Okay.
to the Final Four. I've got Arizona and Purdue, and I've got Auburn and Gonzaga.
I have Arizona, Michigan State,
Ooh,
and I have Texas, Gonzaga.
yeah. I mean, so
Well,
so who do you
here's the
have? So
thing.
then, do you have Arizona and Gonzaga in the final in the national championship?
No,
I
I
do.
have Arizona Tech. I have Arizona, Texas, and I have the Longhorns, baby, winning it all.
That's a gutsy pick, man. Coming
Yeah,
into the SEC next year, that's a
that's not bad for you SEC boys. I think Texas, Oklahoma do better in basketball than football in the SEC for a while. Um, I just, I think the Big 12's, you didn't give them a lot of respect in your picks, but I think that the Big 12 is a better basketball conference than any other conference right now in the NCAA. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it could turn out I'm completely wrong. And the Big Ten actually is. I gave the Big Ten a little respect with that all regional final between Purdue and Michigan State. Even though I like UConn, I don't think they're going to get past Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga is a really good team. And, I just don't think Houston's played a tough enough schedule to get past a really good Texas team. And that's a good Texas team. I mean, I don't know about Kennesaw State and
it's
Auburn,
pretty gutsy.
but, I mean, I could see Auburn beating Houston and then beating Indiana or Drake and then but then I don't think they get past Texas. So I think Texas is the big hairy monster in that conference or in that region. So, so you didn't have any love for Alabama getting into the finals either, huh?
I again, and maybe
or
it's their
Purdue.
history. I
Yeah.
just they're on a great run, but I think when you come into the big boys, into the Elite Eight, I I, I
Yeah.
just don't see them getting past an Arizona. And Arizona's a very, very good basketball team. Them and
The
UCLA,
other thing
if that player for UCLA had not gotten injured, I mean, you're
mhm.
talking about two really, really good basketball teams.
Oh, I would have UCLA getting past Gonzaga if that was the case. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Now, here's one that, I mean, you and I probably feel the same with Kansas.
Yeah.
I think
They're like
everybody
a Virginia.
talks about, yes, yes. And they
And yes, they
always,
won last
uh,
year, but I think them winning, and they're a number one seed, but
but they have some
I
injuries.
feel like they're setting themselves up for failure again. I've got them
But
losing in
here,
the second round against Arkansas.
but here's one factor
Oh
that
no, yeah,
may,
yeah, second round against
well,
Arkansas.
this might, didn't their coach just have some heart issues?
Yes, he
And he was in the
hasn't
hospital
been.
for a while.
Yeah, he wasn't there during the Big 12 championship, or you know during that run. But yeah,
Well, what if the win one for the Gipper, I mean, takes hold and
that might
they
be that
roll?
motivation.
I mean,
You could be right.
yeah, yeah. So they could be one I got completely wrong, and they sweep into Gonzaga in the final, and I think that would be a Donnybrook of a game. Oh, that
Oh,
would be an awesome game.
I'm
So
going to throw a wrench in
yeah.
here. I'm just reading this hot off the press. We're going to interrupt this news flash right here.
Uh oh.
San Diego State's charter plane for the men's tournament was 2 hours late after Air Force One caused disruptions in travel. Thanks, Joe Biden, for ruining it for the San Diego State Aztecs. So
Woo,
if you
go
got them,
Charleston.
I got to change my pick now. There it goes.
Oh, goodbye, San Diego State. Okay, I'll allow that. That's fair. Wow. Okay, that's almost a guarantee now.
It is
All
that.
right, lock.
Whew, that I might have to. I'm gonna have to change that pick. Yeah.
If we had one of those gambling channels, I'd be advertising guarantee lock of the week. Yeah, exactly. Charleston is going to beat San Diego State. You heard it here. Um, any other surprises you can think of?
I mean, outside, you're always going to have a 12 seed that's going to advance. That over the
Right.
last 10 years, that has happened every single time. And half of those times, there's been more than one 12 seed that's advanced. That twelve
Usually two or
five
three.
is the rough one right there. I mean, that's nobody wants to be a 5 seed. And in your 5 seed, you got Oral Roberts and Duke. You've got Charleston, San Diego State, and you've
Hmm.
got Drake and Miami,
Right.
and
I
then
think that's a
you've
possible.
got Virginia Commonwealth and St. Mary's. And every one of those, I would not be surprised if we saw 4 12 seeds sitting inside there. I think all of
And
those
then
teams
there's
have the
always,
potential to win.
well, and there's been like one number one seed that's lost in the first round now.
Only
Like,
Virginia. That was only
only Virginia.
Virginia.
And then, oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking the second round, second seed. That's why I'm thinking. Now, I actually Marquette, one of my other I actually have Marquette going all the way to the Final Four. So I just don't
I,
know. I mean,
I can't
Vermont's one of those
disagree with that
sneaky,
though. I
weird
I don't
teams.
know enough about Marquette to say no on that. They're a 2 seed. They're
Yeah,
28-6. Um,
I
they
just,
lost to Purdue
I,
by 5. This is kind of
yeah,
something too because I don't know if you've ever watched Purdue play. They've got a guy that's 7'5", and I'm telling you,
he's
he's
huge.
one of the last old school big men that's played. Like he's not a guy that sits out on the perimeter and shoots. He's a full-fledged big man, and they just lob that ball up to him all the time. Um, so
That's funny.
Marquette, they lost to Purdue by 5. They have beaten UConn twice. They beat Baylor by 26. Um, but then they lost to Mississippi State by 3. So, and look, basketball is one of them sports. It's day by day. Like one day you may be fantastic, and you come out the next day, it's like, what the heck just happened here?
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true.
Um, yeah, I like your picks. I mean, I can't say that I disagree. I think you got some pretty solid picks there.
As I think you do too. I think yours are. I think it's going to be a fun tournament.
I am nervous about Kennesaw State.
As you probably should be, but that's okay.
But
I
hey,
mean, hey,
go KSU.
exactly. Well, we're going to see. We're going to be able to see first thing tomorrow. I think the first game start around, well, my time about 10 o'clock, and then finish up late into the evening, probably midnight your time, right? So,
Yep, yep.
and I think you're going to see some of those upsets towards the evening too. Unfortunately, at work, I won't be able to see some of the early games, but I think I'm going to, stop by
Exciting.
someplace where I can
Have
watch
that
them on
little
the.
computer monitor in the corner there, looking at the games and stuff.
Oh, I guarantee. I don't know about your office, but we'll have them. We'll have them quietly broadcasting. They'll keep it. They had the World Cup broadcasting in my office as well, so I'm sure we'll be. There'll be some game watching tomorrow, so it'll be fun.
And those games
But
last night, I'm telling you, Pitt with a 1 point win against Mississippi State. And then you had that Texas A&M Community College against, I guess, Southeast Missouri. Was it? Yeah.
yeah,
3 point or 4 point win. I mean, close game. Tonight, you've got Arizona State all over Nevada. I mean, they're up by 19 right now. But and then, well, the games weren't very close tonight. You had Texas Southern losing by 23 to Fairleigh Dickinson. So
yeah.
yeah, tonight's
I was
game's not
surprised.
as exciting as last
Hmm.
night's games, but I think it's going to be a really good tournament. There's no, I think we can all agree there's no consensus number one, like, oh, this is the team that's going to do it.
Well, hey, the exciting thing is we're going to be able to talk a little more. We have a regular broadcast this Sunday for Three Dad Bods. And hopefully Sean's there again with us Sunday. And we'll mention who's ahead in our a little. Okay, Brent, here's the thing. we need to have some sort of wager.
Mm.
That doesn't have to be cash,
Mm.
but what are you willing to put up there and lose?
All right. So the one who picks the most winners. All right. You ready for this?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
If you pick the most winners, I have to, for one whole day, have the Y as my profile pic.
Oh, I love it.
If I
and then
win, you have to have the U as your profile pic.
Oh, okay. That sounds fair to me. So this is on Facebook, right?
This is on Facebook.
Okay.
I think that's a good bet right there.
And then the poll for last week, Danny Ainge is leading. They think your favorite player is Danny, my friend.
Yeah.
They need to listen to the podcast. That's what they need to do. All right. Well, hey guys, good luck on your picks. We're excited to be back. It'll be Sunday night. You'll hear us again, and we really appreciate all our listeners. You guys have been awesome. We love the feedback. You've given us some really good ideas and also ideas for other podcasts. So we really appreciate each one of you, and keep getting the word out. Let people know about our podcast, and hopefully you see the quality is getting better too. I actually have a new mic now, so it's kind of fun, and hopefully it sounds more and more polished. But more importantly, we just hope you enjoy it. Right, Brent?
That's right. And by this time of next week, I think we should have a plethora of Kennesaw State fans that are listening to our podcast. Go Kennesaw State.
Thanks for listening to the 3 Dad Bods podcast. Let your friends know we're on Spotify and Apple. And don't miss an episode. Rock on.